All right, beautiful Sunday morning here at Englewood Christian Church, and it's so cold out here. It's in the 30s, no, 40s, 50s, somewhere around there. So I'm all decked out in my winter gear, as you can see, and but we're ready to go in this nice, warm, inviting room because you're going to see something amazing that I'm going to gaze my eyes on here, and after church, everybody's going to come into this room over here and enjoy. So what's behind this door? Let's check it out. Whoa, wow. Look at all the tables, everybody. This is amazing. Oh, hey, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. So could you go ahead and tell us your name and what you're doing here in this wonderfully decorated room?
My name is Karen Lee. I've been a member of Englewood Christian Church for 41 years now.
Wow.
And this is the international, used to be the international dinner. Now it's the international luncheon because we're having it at lunch, and it's a part of our annual Faith Promise Missions Conference. And the idea is to get more people interested in missions, interested in the foreign field, and to really kind of ramp up people's hearts for missions. And we get people involved a couple of different ways. One is they decorate all these beautiful tables that you've seen. And in doing that, a lot of times they'll do research about the countries, the state of Christianity in those countries. And sometimes their kids will get involved and it becomes a family affair. And then people like to come and see the tables. They like to come and they sit. They can find out things about countries or missions. But it helps keep missions in their minds and in their hearts. And some of the tables you're looking at are for a specific country. Others are for a specific mission that we support here at the church, or a combo of a country and a mission together.
Right.
So that's what you're looking at here.
Well, great. Since coming here to Englewood Christian Church, I've seen some amazing things. And why is this church so special in supporting missions?
Faith Promise Missions, which is a very special type of missions offering, has been a part of Englewood for decades and decades. I like to think of him as our founding minister, but he's really not, because I think when we first started, we had one guy who was our church plant minister back in the 50s, early 60s. But Fred Smith, who was our minister for many, many decades, went to a national convention one year early in his tenure and saw and heard about the idea of Faith Promise. And Faith Promise is this: missions offering in Faith Promise is not part of your normal 10% tithe. It's above and over that. And the idea is that you give in faith. You pray to God and you consider it, you and your family, or just you if it's just you, and you pray and you ask God, Lord, what will you provide for me to give to mission work to spread your name and your glory across the world? And in all the years that we've been doing it, we have, out of a church that's never been very huge, produced incredible amounts of missions offering that are used across the globe for evangelism, medical missions, children's work, education. You pick a category, disaster relief, we have a mission that supports it.
Right.
And so we've been very blessed with this program, and it's blessed our congregation, and many of our members have grown up with this program and just really, really love Faith Promise. And we have our missions budget is completely separate from our operating budget because of that.
Right.
So this was one of the ideas that was developed, probably from the beginning, to do a dinner and to have people not only decorate tables, but also we have a covered dish next door. Not all the food's out yet because everything's in ovens and plugged in crock pots. But most people bring ethnic food, or food that is, from around the world. A lot of times people will try a new recipe, or they'll bring something that's part of their heritage, from where their family comes from in the world. So we share a lot of ethnic dishes, again adding another layer, if you will, of thinking about the world and thinking beyond our borders and beyond our homes and neighborhoods.
Wow, excellent.
Into the rest of the world.
Excellent.
So part of what that does. So do you want a tour of the tables?
We will, but I want to go ahead and give a little background because Blad Dad used to work at Walt Disney World, and one of my favorite things to do every year is the Epcot Food and Wine Festival.
I've never missed one.
Oh, wow. So we got a foodie right here,
Yes,
along with Blad Dad.
I love the Food and Wine Festival.
It's such an amazing...
And don't laugh, I often use it if I'm going to decorate a table at this for a country. I will often get ideas of the Food and Wine Festival and purchase things.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that lends credence to why this is so important is because, you know, whatever we watch on TV, you can't get the visceral feeling of just watching it on TV. When you have one of the mission partners come up and tell about their story, whether it's in the States or internationally, then you understand where their heart is and where obviously, you know, the members' monies go and how it helps others. And so this is a great way for this one day to showcase all these missions. And I was joking with her earlier. If we had, if Englewood, if there's one church in this entire Jacksonville area that could probably put on a food and wine festival, obviously without the wine.
Yeah, we don't.
We wouldn't do that. This church would do it because it's amazing year after year of what they produce, not only just for the tables, but the food that comes out. And obviously we've got people that talk about their missions. Anyway, we're talking too much. I could smell the food. If this was smell-o-vision right now, oh, we would be eating it. But I'm going to let this lovely lady go ahead and start probably over where I entered, and then she'll explain all of it. And yeah.
So this table represents the country of Haiti. And in Haiti, we have a mission we support called Rafa House. And Rafa House, actually the word Rafa comes from the story of Hagar, the God who sees me. When Hagar was starving after she had been forced to leave with Ishmael, and she thought he was dying and laid him down under a bush and sat down and wept, she called out Jehovah Rapha, and God saw her and saved her and her son. And Rafa House International actually has, their main branch is overseas. They work in Cambodia. They also have offices, I think, in Canada. But their operation in Haiti is the one that we support directly. And Rafa Haiti rescues young women, and I think it's mostly young women, but also boys, from sex trafficking. And that's true both in Haiti and Cambodia. They also give them education and train them in job skills. And it's really interesting. A lot of the jobs are things like, say, hairdressing or seamstressing, because what they find is when they rescue these children, oftentimes they are almost adults. They're at least 13, 14, or 15 years old, but they've never been taught how to read or how to do any math or any basic skills they might need to function. So Rafa helps them. They provide counseling. They get them out of the sex trade. They maintain secure locations where the children are housed. They educate them, but they have to train them for some sort of skill to be able to support themselves once they're adults. And so Rafa provides that. It provides help, hope, and healing.
Awesome.
That's what they like to say.
So obviously this is one table out of many. So we're going to do literally almost like a 15 to 30 second elevator speech for each table. Okay. So we can go ahead and have just enough time to get back to church because that has already started. So here we go.
So this table represents two of our family ministries that we support that focus on expectant mothers. Christian Family Services in Gainesville, Florida, and First Coast Women's Services here in Jacksonville. And they help pregnant moms with counseling and education. They also provide adoptive references and things like that. And they are basically there to encourage mothers to have their children and to help them be able to keep their children if they want, but to hook them up with adoptive parents if they need that. This is a table for Japan. And actually, I'm very excited for this table and the one we just looked at because the ideas for them came from two of our children here at church. And we sometimes get that. This table was done by a young lady who has a pen pal in Japan.
Oh, wow.
Yep, and she and her mother helped with that. We don't have any current missions directly in Japan, but we have in the past. So, but she was very interested in it. And you can see there's even, if you'll zoom in on this, there's an origami cross that the doll in the Japanese outfit is holding. This is a table for Africa, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a beautiful table, and there's some fun, humorous recipes for crocodile stew and elephant soup on the wall. They're kind of humor pieces. We currently have a missions team that we're supporting in Africa. I'm not going to say the location because sometimes there are security risks, but they are doing Bible translation work. It's a family that went over recently. They're doing Bible translation work into a language that's spoken by several different groups in a certain part of Africa.
Great.
This table is China. We do not currently have any missionaries in China, but we have supported missions in the past that work with groups around the edges of China and things like that. But that's our Chinese table. This is India, and currently we support 2 missions in India. Both are very medically oriented. One is Medical Missions of India, which is the Reese family, and they are actually, I think, our oldest running missionary partners at Englewood. We've supported the Reeses through 2 or 3 generations for about 50 years now.
Wow.
The other Indian mission is new, Mid-India Christian Mission, and actually the 2 mission groups know each other and work together. They're just in a little bit different part of the country. Both groups work extensively with children who have diseases like tuberculosis, AIDS, malformations,
Right.
things like that.
Right.
It's very striking. This is the Austria table, and while we don't currently have a mission in Austria, the family that did this table together has some Austrian heritage, and so they wanted to put this out there, and we don't have time for it, but these are beautiful little music boxes that came from Austria.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and they play, and it's beautiful.
Excellent.
This is a table for Brazil, and I especially want you to get the boat. So one of our newer missions, we're new to supporting them, but they're not a new mission. Central Brazil Mission has a medical riverboat that travels up the Amazon out of the port of Manaus. The ladies that did this table, one of them actually started building the boat last year, and then we had to cancel this event because of COVID.
Right.
So now the boat is finally here.
Wow,
and
she built that.
They make 12 to 14 trips a year on that boat down the Amazon, delivering medical supplies and medical treatments to remote villages.
Great.
This is France and a beautiful French garden party.
Ooh la la.
Yes, isn't it gorgeous?
It is. Look at the pedophores.
I know. Well, actually, those are meringue cookies.
That's what I said. Meringue cookies.
So that's our France table. And this is IDES. IDES is International Disaster Emergency Services. They're a long-running Christian mission. They're like a Christian version of the Red Cross. They work in countries throughout the world for disaster relief and here in the United States. Currently, they're doing a big drive for tornado relief in Kentucky.
Oh, wow,
we
yeah,
looked that up
right.
recently, and we
Right.
are collecting some special offerings to assist with that. And I love this. The tarp is the tablecloth. It's an emergency
Right.
tarp cover. This is Ireland. And we have we think of them as Timothys, people that are like our sons of the congregation who go out in the mission field. And this family has just arrived literally last week in Ireland, where they will begin working with youth in the Derry area, if you're familiar with the series Derry Girls. They're actually going to be working, they live in Derry, they're going to be working about 20 miles away in an area in Northern Ireland, and they will be running a community center for a church where they will get to interact with youth, adults, do Bible studies, and all kinds of things. And they're very, very excited about that. This is our table for Honduras. And for many years, we have supported a it's not really an orphanage, it's a girls' home in Honduras that's part of a larger group called Lifeline Christian Mission. This home for girls, many of these girls aren't orphans, but they've been taken from their families by the courts because their families were in terrible shape for many different reasons.
Right.
They are given a loving home, raised in a family, taught job skills, and so on and so forth. But we've supported the Amoa home for many years. This is a table that represents our college ministries. We support ministry at 4 different universities: Appalachian State, FSU, Johnson University, Florida, which was a college we helped start in Orlando. It's a Bible college. and now part of the Greater Johnson University and the University of Florida. And hopefully people figure this out. I love this design. There's name tags they're all supposed to put their names on, and the placemats look like composition books.
Right.
Very creative.
Very.
And this is a table for the USA because we do have a number of home missions that we support here in the country. For example, we have Family Christian Services down in Seffner, Florida, which is a youth home and also a school that we support. You saw some of the other home missions up front with the Christian Family Services and First Coast Women's. So this just represents the things that we serve here in the United States. And this fun table is Mexico, if it's not obvious. For many years, we supported a Bible college in Mexico, and we've had missions on and off in Mexico through the years. We don't have a currently active one, but that could change any day. We do, however, have a couple of Hispanic missions now here in the United States that we're supporting that many of their members will have come from Mexico northward into the United States. And those missions are helping to plant churches in the Hispanic American communities in the South, in places you wouldn't think, like Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, places where there's been a large influx that people don't realize.
Right.
We've also supported that kind of effort in South Florida
Right.
for Christian church planting in the Hispanic communities.
Wow.
So these are our tables and the kinds of missions and countries near and dear to our hearts that they represent.
Well, this has been an amazing walkthrough, literally around the world. This is a small world after all, and so this particular small world for us really lends to people such as Karen over here, and we really appreciate her, and also the volunteers. The volunteers are really huge.
Yep.
Our church
We had
really
about
gets into it.
20 or so volunteers involved in the decorating of the tables.
Mm-hmm. And so, what are people going to every time you see this happen every year? And this is the first time we're doing a luncheon. Is that correct?
Yes.
So first time we're doing a luncheon.
Prior to COVID, it was a dinner.
So when they come in, what's the expectation, and what do you love to see when people just walk in?
I love to see their faces light up and the smiles on their faces. It really, again, it helps keep missions in the heart and missions in the mind. Right. And they love looking at things that's, there's an ooh-ah factor, but beyond that, at a deeper layer, it reminds them that all over the world, everyone needs Jesus. Right. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from, we all need Jesus. Right,
absolutely. So live here from Englewood Christian Church here on this Sunday, Mission Sunday. We're getting ready to invite people in how long?
About 30 to 40, about 40 minutes probably.
About 40 minutes. So right now they're probably getting into the Word, so I need to get going. And as she prepares for our guests to arrive from church, again, this is Blab Dad for Blab Dad Videos. If you like what you see here, Blab Dad, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and share this information so you too, what charity, just give. Giving really comes from the heart, and it supports whoever that you want to support, because there's others out there that need that help and support, just like all these folks who do these mission trips, who have these missions all over the world, whether it's the United States or internationally. So, bye for Englewood Christian Church. Okay, see you later.